Tonight, through the use of the sports machine, this first full weekend of baseball brings us some wild plays. The Lakers' young superstar, Kobe Bryant, struggles with the rigors of a long season. Good evening, everybody. While I'm away on assignment tonight, it's my pleasure to welcome as our co-host back in the studio, Tony Segreto.
Thanks, George. Is this the year Greg Norman finally breaks his Masters jinx? The Great White Shark, tonight on the Sports Machine. How badly do you think Michael Jordan and the Bulls want to finish with the best regular season record in the NBA? Well, today, Jordan poured in 40 points to lead the Bulls to a 109-94 win over the Houston Rockets. It was Chicago's 12th straight victory, and the win improves the Bulls' record to a league-best 57-18. We take you to the summit, and we want you to look at Turbo Man. Yeah, he is the Rockets' mascot. I'd love to play basketball this way. Through the hoop for an easy two. All right, here's the question of the night. How do you defend Michael Jordan? You keep the ball away from him. Mario Elie with the errant pass there from Ron Harper. Away from Jordan. Elie on the run. The easy two, uncontested. He would finish with 18 points. So Elie has one up on Michael, right? Well, maybe one up, but that's about it. Again, how do you defend Michael Jordan? You keep the ball away from him. Elie can't do it this time. Look at how wide open Michael is for the easy two with the alley-oop from Pippen. Jordan with 40 points as the Bulls win their 12th straight, crushing the Rockets. The final, 109-94. Coming up, Kobe Bryant on his roller coaster ride through the NBA season. And here's tonight's Nicorette trivia question. What Major League Baseball team owns the longest current streak without a postseason appearance? You can give the Los Angeles Lakers credit for the best comeback of the day in the NBA. Today, the Lakers overcame an 18-point deficit to edge the Pistons 105-103 in overtime. We take you now to the Palace in Auburn Hills, the Lakers in purple, and we will show you how Kobe Bryant misses a jumper. It will clang right off the front of the iron. Grant Hill will take it. Watch how slowly the Lakers get back on defense here. Grant Hill sees it. Kobe Bryant, oh my, what happened? Take a lesson there, my man. Grant Hill uncontested on that. He had a double-triple today, triple-double, 18 points, 16 rebounds, and 11 assists, but he couldn't do enough. How about Kobe Bryant here? Overtime, 101-100. The spin move, Eddie Jones. Great feed there with the jam. Lakers win their 5th straight, beating the Pistons 105-103 in overtime. Let's go to Washington, D.C. Orlando Magic in black fighting against the Wizards for a playoff spot. Bo Outlaw, can't make up your mind? That'll cost you. Get out of my house, says Calbert Chaney. Wizards on the break. It's Rod Strickland to Juwan Howard for the jam. Wizards beat the Magic 88-85 to move to within a half game of New Jersey for the final Eastern Conference playoff spot. Well, while the Lakers are winning, young Kobe Bryant continues to struggle. He was only 2 of 11 from the field today and finished with just 6 points. George Michael has more on the education of young superstar Kobe Bryant.
Well, Tony, everybody knows that the Lakers' young superstar, Kobe Bryant, has been spectacular at times. Del Harris, his coach, says he has to learn the complete team concept. Actually, if Kobe had gone to college, he'd be a sophomore. As young as he is, I don't think Kobe Bryant ever expected to run into a brick wall like he has over the last 2 months.
It's the 1998 NBA All-Star Game, Madison Square Garden.
Kobe Bryant!
19-year-old Kobe Bryant, the youngest in history. Kobe made the most of the spotlight. He had a team-high 18 points. He had 6 rebounds. The only star who shone brighter was the MVP, Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant proved to the world that he was worthy of being called an NBA All-Star. Heady stuff for a 19-year-old. But he's got his dad, former NBA star Joe Bryant, at his side. He's got his mom and his family around him. It's easy to become conceited in the bright lights, but Kobe's got his feet on the ground.
Everybody's saying all these great things about it. How do you remind yourself that you're Joe's son, you know, that mom is there and you've got sister? You're just Kobe.
It's easy when you have to take out the garbage. You know? You have to clean up your room. You have to wash the dishes and things like that. That always keeps me grounded. I have two lovely sisters, older sisters, my mother and my father. All of them are staying with me in LA, so it's very easy for me to stay grounded. I just happen to play ball.
But since the All-Star break, things have not been perfect in the world of Kobe Bryant. He's been going through the first slump of his career. His shooting percentage is way down. Kobe Bryant has hit what the players call the wall.
I'm going through that right now. Right now. I mean, after the All-Star break, teams have kind of adjusted to my game and trying to play me, different ways as far as setting up their defenses to try to, shut me down. And it's been hard for me. It's been frustrating for me, and I want to learn. I study videotape, and I want to ask so many questions, but I just want to get out there and learn it by experience. And right now, I'm going nuts, man.
It's hard to believe that just 2 years ago, the man in white, number 33, was a Lower Merion High School player named Kobe Bryant, leading his team to a state championship. Those glorious days of yesterday now seem like they were 1,000,000 years and a lifetime ago. Today, he's a 19-year-old All-Star with the Los Angeles Lakers. He feels the pressure of trying to help his team win an NBA championship. But the burden of expectations are part of living out what has been a childhood and lifelong dream for Kobe Bryant.
Did you ever dream that you were going to be enjoying where you are right now in 1998?
I've dreamed about it, yes. I mean, this was my dream. Last season, I had the opportunity to see my teammates go to the All-Star game, meaning Shaq and Eddie. And I wanted to be in the All-Star game too. And I really dedicated myself in the summertime to work very, very hard to get to this particular point, and the fans rewarded me. So it's a dream come true.
Had he gone to college, Kobe Bryant would be just a sophomore. Instead, he's receiving on-the-job training and the realities of the hard life of the NBA. It's all part of paying the dues of being an all-star.
Well, it's a good thing the defending World Series champion Florida Marlins received their World Series rings today. They may need something to help remember last season. Nearly half the players are no longer there, and the team has been slow to adjust. Today, the Marlins suffered their 5th straight loss, falling to the Milwaukee Brewers 5-2. We take you now to beautiful South Florida and Pro Player Stadium. Bobby Bonilla and the 17 remaining Marlins from the 1997 World Champions received their series rings. 12 of the 25 players on last year's postseason roster are now gone. They will get their rings, though. Top of the 3rd, World Series MVP Livan Hernandez pitching to the Brewers' Jeff Cirillo, who sends this hard shot to El Nino. Edgar Renteria, the bat hop, stays with it, falls on his backside, stays there. Great arm, great pick here by Ryan Jackson, the rookie first baseman. You're out at first. Wow. Those heroics notwithstanding, though, it wasn't enough for the world champion Marlins. They lose their 5th straight, falling to the Brewers, the final 5-2. Let's go to Houston. Former Astro Darryl Kyle, who signed with the Rockies for $24 million during the offseason, facing his old team and his old mate, Shane Reynolds. Ellis Burke, don't charge the fly ball on the turf because it's going to get by him more often than not. Tony Eusebio, Moises Alou, and Tim Bogar all score as Reynolds clears the bases. Astros beat the Rockies the final 6-2. And here's the answer to tonight's Nicorette trivia question. What Major League Baseball team owns the longest current streak without a postseason appearance? The answer? You just saw them. The Milwaukee Brewers, who last reached the playoffs in 1982. And with the first week of the baseball season now complete, only one team remains unbeaten, the Cleveland Indians. And today, the Indians improved to a perfect 5-0 by downing the Anaheim Angels 6-4. We take you now to Anaheim, and this is Paul Ossenmacher trying to protect a 6-4 lead in the 9th inning, facing the Angels' Garrett Anderson. Now, a shallow fly ball to left field. You know what's going to happen. Sean Dunston going out, Brian Giles coming in. Giles doesn't see Dunston. The collision. Dunston hangs on to the ball. Giles is saying, I cannot believe I did this. Well, maybe you guys can laugh about this because you still remain undefeated as you beat the Angels 6-4 and sweep that 3-game series. In Baltimore, top of the 3rd, Orioles and Tigers tied at 2. Mike Mussina to Tony Clark. Drive to deep center. Jeffrey Hammond's at the wall, battling the sun, battling blindness. He stays with it against the wall. Yeah, hold the ball up. You've got it. Orioles win their 5th straight, beating the Tigers 6-3. And the youngsters, yeah, they want to raise the roof, and why not? They also want to raise the roof at the Metrodome. Twins and Royals, bottom of the 8th. Twins lead 3-1. Terry Steinbach loops one to shallow right. Jose Offerman, can you get to it? I'll try. No. Can you get to it now? No. Okay. Ron Coomer, don't stop. Keep on going. No need to stop. Twins crush the Royals. The final, 10-1. Well, the NFL draft is less than 2 weeks away now, and in this week's Rogaine Rumorville, sponsored by the new Rogaine, Howard Eskin runs down the top few picks and what some teams are looking for in the NFL draft.
In less than 2 weeks, we could see maybe the most intriguing NFL collegiate draft. It all takes place on April 18th and 19th. Now, here in Rumorville, I've already laid out the top 4 picks. Quarterbacks Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf go 1-2. Florida State's defensive lineman Andre Wadsworth goes 3 to Arizona. The 4th pick will be Michigan's Rod Woodson, but here is where it could get interesting. Jacksonville, picking at 9, is hot to move up to pick Woodson. So is Baltimore at 10. 5 should be Georgia Tech linebacker Keith Brooking to Chicago. The 6th pick is the St. Louis Rams, and I hear they want a running back, and that would be Penn State's Curtis Enis. And a couple of other things to look for. Randy Moss appears to be such a risk to many teams, he could go anywhere from 7 to 22. And keep an eye on Utah wide receiver Kevin Dyson. I hear Dyson will go higher in the draft than Randy Moss. Now, if you've got all that, it could all change with 1 or 2 trades early in the first round. From Rumorville for the Sports Machine, I'm Howard Eskin.
All right, Howard. Well, golfer Dr. Gil Morgan continues to prosper on the Seniors Tour today. The 51-year-old Morgan captured the tradition for the 2nd straight year. We take you now to Scottsdale, Arizona, and we're going to show you Tom Wargo here. He led for the first 3 rounds of this tournament. This is on the 8th hole, putting from the fringe for a birdie. This is a big chance, and this is also a big putt. Would it go? Would it go? Yes. That would put him at 12 under par, but Wargo would shoot a 74 today. And that would open the door for Dr. Gil Morgan. Here on 18, he will sink the shore par putt to win the Seniors tradition for the 2nd straight year. Morgan takes home $210,000. Let's take you now to New Orleans, the Freeport McDermott Classic. 24-year-old Lee Westwood of Britain on the 11th hole with a long birdie putt. A very subtle right-to-left break. He reads it perfectly. His first ever victory on American soil. A 3-shot victory worth $306,000. A fiery 11-car crash marred today's running of NASCAR's Texas 500. Mark Martin survived it, all to win his 2nd race of the season. We take you now to the Texas Motor Speedway. Now, I want to emphasize here, this is the 2nd lap of the race. The 2nd lap of the race. First turn. Look what happens here. Rick Mass and Jeff Gordon spin into the wall, creating a major accident. John Andretti comes across the track and into the wall, and everyone behind has nowhere to go as 11 cars in all get tangled up in this crash, which brought on a red flag delay of 32 minutes while they cleared the debris. John Andretti, this is him. He would have to escape his burning car by climbing over the top of Rick Mass' car. Remember, Rick Mass started this whole mess. Many of the top drivers were out, but fortunately no one was hurt. Only 29 of the 43 cars that started would finish the race, with Mark Martin taking the checkered flag ahead of Chad Little. Robert Presley finished 3rd. Mark Martin gets his 2nd win of the season. Now, our Prime Star Play of the Week salutes a record 9th NCAA hockey title for the Maize and Blue. We take you to Boston, Massachusetts. Late in overtime, game tied at 2. Michigan freshman Josh Langfield takes the pass, and from a bad angle, somehow, oh my, beats Boston College goalie Scott Clemenson right through the pads, through the wickets, if you will. Michigan defeats Boston College 3-2 to capture an NCAA record 9th hockey championship. Boston College has not won a title since 1949. Michigan's NCAA hockey championship earns our Prime Star Play of the Week. And coming up, the great white shark goes hunting for his first Masters championship.
Welcome back to the Sports Machine, everybody. This Thursday, it's the Masters Golf Tournament. It's the tournament the great white shark wants more than anything else. Let's see, in 1998 so far, John Elway's won the Super Bowl. Dale Earnhardt has won the Daytona 500. Could it be that Greg Norman, the sentimental favorite, will finally get that elusive Masters? Let me take you to the golf course.
He has been so close, so often. Greg Norman hopes that 1998 will be his year. After all, it's the year that John Elway finally won the Super Bowl. 1998's the year that Dale Earnhardt finally won the Daytona 500. This will be Greg Norman's 18th Masters. He's come so close. He wonders if this will be his year.
Yes, I've been close to all these major championships in the U.S. Have an opportunity to win them. It hasn't come my way, but you know, time's still on my side.
Greg Norman is golf's great paradox. He's the all-time earnings leader, but no one has suffered more devastatingly painful defeats. Greg Norman has finished second 8 times in major tournaments, including a heartbreaking defeat and sudden death to Paul Azinger in the 1993 PGA Championship. When Greg Norman loses, his fans feel the pain.
People absolutely suffer when Greg Norman doesn't win. I mean, I know you do, but people really suffer anytime it's not perfect for you.
In golf, because they turn on the television, they pick up the sports section on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday morning, boom, there it is. Your whole world is right there in front of everybody, whether it's good or bad. So they feel like they know you. They feel like they can reach out and touch you.
Right.
You know, and they say, wow, there's Greg, you know, boy, how you doing, Greg, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm so sorry about what happened, blah, blah. You know, what happened at the Kemper Open, boom, boom, boom. And that's wonderful to feel that energy from people. It really is. It's a wonderful position to be in, because there's very few of us who actually experience something like that. Actually just feel the emotion from the people, whether you win or lose.
His near misses have actually captured greater headlines than his big victories. He won the British Open in 1986, then again in 1993. When it comes to big money, Greg Norman has the big victories. But with the success have come his critics, who wonder aloud if he still has the heart to win a major.
Do you still have the burning desire to still walk 18 and have the low score?
You know, I'm still fit, I'm still strong, I'm still determined. My competitive spirit and juices are probably more so now than when I was in my 20s and 30s. So when I can look back on my career and look up to people like Raymond Floyd winning in his 40s, a Jack Nicklaus winning when he's 46, a Hale Irwin winning when he's late in his career, all these guys even still contending in their late 40s for major championship. Man, the world's still my oyster.
The 96 Masters was Greg Norman's cruelest tournament. He had a record 63 the first round, but the final round was to be a nightmare. He began the final round with a 6-stroke lead, but he shot a 78. His hopes of winning his first Masters were drowned with this shot on the 16th hole when his ball went in the water. Nick Faldo would wear the green jacket that Greg Norman thought was his. Greg Norman was at a loss for words.
Look, I'm disappointed. I'm sad about it. I'm going to regret it. It's going to be a day that I know that I let one slip away, and I've let others slip away. But it's not the end of my life.
From out of that disappointment at the Masters came the greatest outpouring of support that Greg Norman has ever received.
His father came up to me and says, you know, Greg, I've been meaning to write you a letter, and I've been meaning to come up and talk to you. He said, because, you know, we're always at the same soccer matches. He said, but I've got to tell you one thing. He said, never in my life has anybody affected me like the way you affected me, for the way you handled the Masters. Now, I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, you know, what do I say? You know, how do you respond to something like that? And he was just so emotional in the way he was coming out with the words. And he said it changed his life. It changed his son's life. It changed the outlook of their family. Those type of things mean a huge amount to me, because no way can you ever get to experience that unless you have agony and ecstasy. And those are the things that what makes life so great.
Augusta, the Masters, the worst of Greg Norman, the very best of Greg Norman. 3 times he's finished in second place. He is driven in his 18th return to the Masters. What winning the Masters would mean to Greg Norman is almost beyond comprehension.
I cannot imagine the range of emotions that even a successful man on top of the world like you, how deep it's going to touch you.
Well, let's just see. Let's just see what happens. If it works out that way, I don't know how I'll react. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be emotion there, but maybe I've learned to hide a lot of the emotion too. I hope not in a situation like that. I think it's important that people see the joy that you experience in fulfilling some of your dreams.
At the age of 43, he's still chasing his dream, the Masters. John Elway chased it until late in his career. Dale Earnhardt late into his career. But 1998 has been their year of glory. And one wonders if this is the year of Greg Norman's glory.
Greg Norman, so successful, so much criticized. Hey, Tony Segreto, thank you for joining us. Look forward to having you with us on the show in the near future.
My pleasure as always, George, and George will return next week with all the highlights from the Masters. I'm Tony Segreto. From all of us here at the Sports Machine, thanks for joining us. Have a great week.
The George Michael Sports Machine is brought to you by the new Rogaine.